but I'm really blessed rather to have really, really, really high quality relationships in my life, particularly relationships with men. And this conversation with Alan came off the back of really beautiful timing, because I was having a conversation just yesterday with one of my one-on-one clients about how, it's easy, and I loosely quote, it's easy for someone like me to have really high quality relationships in my world, because that's just how it's always been. And for someone like her who isn't surrounded by high quality relationships, it's not so easy. And it actually made me laugh, because what this client didn't know is my background and where I've come from. And so I actually wanted to talk into that. And in this dynamic, this conversation with Alan, it triggered something for me of just how far I've come because of where I've come from to what I experience now. So I want to speak into that, because here's what many of you probably don't know about me. I've shared this in like dribs and drabs, but I've never really dove into it to, oh, hey Scott, how are we doing? I've never really dug into it to such like a depth. So when I was between the age of probably about 16 through to, I want to say, about 20, I was actually hanging out with gangs. And what it looked like in this dynamic was going out partying and having to consciously watch my drink around pretty much everyone at the party, and feeling like there were many times where I remember being offered a drink and feeling like I had one of two choices: either say no for the sake of my safety, but potentially offend the person who'd offered me a drink, resulting in who knows what, or take the drink and cross my fingers and toes that it wasn't spiked, and ultimately same end result. And I look back now on that 4-year period of my life, and I actually genuinely wonder how I did not die, or how I did not end up the victim of some sort of sexual assault or some sort of attack. And on top of that, many of the relationships in my life outside of like the masculine, outside of relationships with men, things like fist fights and street fights and people cheating on each other and friends dogging out friends and all of that stuff was not at all uncommon. In fact, it was absolutely the norm. It was a dog-eat-dog environment, and it was toxic as fuck. To the extent that, like I said, I look back and I wonder how I actually genuinely survived. Many of the people I was associating with were some of the most dangerous people in the country, right? And so the reason I share this is because I think it's really easy to see where someone's landed, to see where someone's ended up, to see someone's, what's the word? To see someone's final form and go, oh, okay, so it's just always been that way for you. And that's not the truth at all. I think the fact that those are the kind of people that I was associating with kind of says a lot about where I was personally at, about where my self-worth was at, about where my unconscious beliefs and patterning and all of that was around what a relationship dynamic should be, what a healthy dynamic is. And it took a lot of really hard work to shift those beliefs, to shift that patterning, to come to a place where I can genuinely say the men in particular, the people in my life are fucking incredible, but in particular, the transformation of the kind of men that I now associate with is like chalk and cheese. And so what I want to, drive home for anyone listening to this is that your past and where you have been does not in any way hold any sort of weight around the possibilities of where you can end up or where you can choose to go and what you can choose to call into your life, unless you choose it to be so. Because it's so easy to just go, well, this is who I have been, this is who I've known myself to be, this is all I know, therefore nothing else is possible. And if that's your truth, then I wish you all the best.